election of Bnei Noach.
Если я рассказывать историю прихода Бней Ноах, так этот семинар или эта конференция, это я бы только один говорил, и больше никто.
I would try to explain how we as like community and I'm personally became a Bnei Noach. You will be closed your seminar and not 6.5 minutes. I will be speak about 3 and more days. We don't do it.
У меня лично получилась довольно интересная история. Я сначала познакомился с иудаизмом, и довольно близко, и хорошо. И моему счастью попался хороший раввин из Израиля. Он уже Урам Хаба, Рав Хаим Шлоймо Гофман. Это человек, который с меня сделал то, что я сейчас себя представляю.
Shortly, the end of my way to Bnei Noach, he is a third generation. He didn't say that. I'm third generation third generation for spiritually looking for, but still I had a very good luck. I met the real rabbi, not just a rabbi, real rabbi, true rabbi, who took me seriously, who took me near to the world of Torah. His name is late, suddenly, Zichrono Lebracha, the next world. His soul, may rest in peace. He's called Chaim Shlomo Hoffman, and he brought me to Judaism. I was very, very lucky. Not all of the Noach, I know it, because of my life.
Этот раввин Гофман, он приехал к нам в Мукачево в 90-е годы, когда Украина стала как бы самостоятельная, независимая, кто знает украинский, незалежно. Он приехал и организовал общину из тех стариков, тех, кто там был, и получилась довольно хорошая община. И на протяжении 15 лет он эту общину возглавлял.
Shortly, Rabbi Hoffman came and start of 90s already. Freedom, Ukraine is independent, freedom of choice, freedom of religion. He came to our town Munkac in Hungarian, Mukachevo, in Slovakian, and he organized the elders of the town to Jewish community, and we were nearby.
Этот раввин, он был неким исключением из правил. Таким раввином, как есть много раввинов, но мне везет вообще в жизни. Мне только хорошие раввины попадаются. Я еще не встретил в своей жизни, встретил, может, но я не знаю. Я всех, с кем я встретился, все хорошие.
So with Rabbi Hoffman, he was very, very unusual and great and good rabbis. I have a very, very good luck in my life. I never met the bad rabbi. Okay, I knew theoretically that there exists, but on my way, I still don't confront with them. So he was very, very good to all of human beings, and especially to me.
Этот раввин нас, не евреев, которые ходили в синагогу, он нас принимал как своих, и иногда даже некоторые, как обычно вообще есть, некоторые даже считали, что он к нам относится лучше, хотя это так и было. И он воспринимал чем евреем, да, потому что были такие случаи, что, например, мы всегда сидели возле него рядом, с одной и с другой стороны. Мой сын, мой племянник, и так дальше, еще там племянник. Он всегда, когда была трапеза, шаббат или праздники, они всегда сидели с одной и с другой стороны.
Rabbi Hoffman was so good for us, but many people, they criticized him, and they said that he is better in approach to us, to non-Jews, than to original Jews. And for example, he's always were sitting with us, and we are, my family personal, my son, my daughter, have a sit around him, not the Jewish, the non-Jewish, the today's Noah. He was better. It's true. The critic were true. He was better in approach to us.
И сейчас вы все меня слушаете и можете мне задать вопрос, а почему до сих пор, если ты в таких был хороших отношениях с Хофманом, в таких хороших отношениях здесь, например, с этим раввином Табадом, Равом Манисом, если я сейчас не знаю, каким словом сказать, какая у нас дружба с Равом Зеевым, вы мне можете спросить, почему ты до сих пор еще не еврей?
If so, if I still have so good luck, and I had a great rabbi in the name of Rabbi Hoffman, later Moshe Zichrono Levacha, I have a huge relationship, good relationship with Rabbi Manis, Rabbi of Chabad Prague. We have a very good friendship with me, and so on, so on. So you may ask, why are you still Benoch? Why you are not converted to Judaism? Why you didn't make till now Giyur? You have all the possibilities in the world.
Я отвечаю на ваш вопрос, хотя его никто мне не задал.
My answer to your question, although you didn't ask me,
я потому еще не еврей, потому что тот мой раввин первый, которого я считаю своим папой духовным, он всегда учил нас всех, и меня тоже в том числе, что лучше быть хорошим бен Ноахом, чем быть не очень хорошим евреем.
So the answer is my Rabbi Hoffman. I considered him like my spiritual father. Yeah, Mishnah says the biological father and spiritual father. Aveda, the lost thing from spiritual rabbis before real father. So I think he's my second or maybe first father, Rabbi Hoffman. He told me huge sentence that guided me till today. The sentence is, it's better be good Ben Noach than bad Jew.
Значит, так как он нас этому научил, и он сказал, что никогда не надо, ну, естественно, были у нас вопросы, были у нас, спрашивали насчет Биюра, как, что, куда, и он всегда говорил, одно, хочу вас всех, прошу, предупреждаю, и хочу, чтобы вы поняли, никогда не спешите с Биюром.
And naturally, we had many questions. Arose the question about you, how time it's take, and so on and so on. And he always answered Rabbi Hoffman to us, please, don't be rash, don't be too speedy with conversion to Judaism. Don't do it. It's a mistake.
А знаете, почему он нам так говорил?
Did you know why he said to us so?
Потому что в том понятии, если человек пройдет Биюр, там нет заднего хода.
In this, it's mean that if some person already done this step, it became a Jew, you have no reverse like in the car. It's no.
И еще он нам убеждал нас, рассказывал нам и наставлял нас на то, что нет такой заповеди, нет такой мицвы, чтобы все люди стали евреями. Есть евреи, есть неевреи. В еврейском народе есть коэн, есть левим. В народах мира тоже есть разные, но все могут прийти к Творцу, к Создателю, находясь в том статусе, в котором они там поделились, в котором они появились на этот свет.
One more point that I really remember from late Rabbi Hoffman is also said many times, there is no mitzvah, there is no duty, there's no duty to become a Jew to the whole world. It's like in Jewish nation. you have some different status and leverages. Cohen, Levi, simple Jew, the same include and working also for the non-Jewish nations. There are many, many different nations and people, and there are also different languages. Somebody may be very high, like intellectual, somebody very, very simple. So via Bnei Noach, it doesn't say that. I added, but I know if you agree with me, the Bnei Noach via Kohanim from non-Jewish world.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It must go. We are sorry.
So yes, I would like to speak with you about an important way of life. What do I mean? When we ask ourselves, how did the Jewish people survive? In all history, and especially during the exiles. And we have an answer. We had communities. Community, congregation, is a way of surviving in a changing world. And I propose that Noahides would organize themselves in communities. It is not very easy because we live, especially in Western world, with the idea of we are a very individualistic society, and many people live alone with no contact with others, other families, and it is not very simple, but it is a need. We need, as human beings, to be in contact permanently with our other people. And so I can propose this model of the Jewish community as a model to create Noahides communities. There are some communities over the world. For example, in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam, there is a Greek community of 150 persons. And they have a center. The center is not a synagogue, it's not a church. It is they call it Ohel Abraham. Ohel Abraham, the tent of Abraham. It is a proposition. It can have any other denomination. But it is a center in which people can meet together. Why to meet together? There are many possibilities. For example, to pray together. That, in the contrary of the Jewish prayer, which is every day and every Shabbat, it can be every month, many times in a year. And it is also how to organize the prayers. There is a possibility, the Brit Olam prayer book, but you can make adaptations for your special need. For example, can I get this one Brit Olam book? Yes.
Shoki, it's in French.
Okay, so what? No, I can hide. But it is also in Hebrew. What do I mean? In this book, you have two possibilities. You have the possibility of praying with Jews. according to the order of prayer of the Jews. So you can enter a synagogue and you are able to understand where the community is present. But you have also instructions given by Rabbi Schwartz, Rabbi Yoel Schwartz of blessed memory, who made some instructions more simple for every human being who is interested to pray the Creator. So you have here two possibilities: individual or participating with the service in a Jewish synagogue. For example, I would take once more the example of what happens in Rotterdam. There is, they have a prayer book that they made especially for the community, and it concerns they meet on Shabbat afternoon. They sing, they learn, and they pray. So the first interest of by having a place to meet is to pray together. But you have also other activities, for example, learning. I met in Taiwan a spiritual master who is not a Noahide, but is very close to the Jewish people. And I asked him, he has many followers, more than 1,000 followers. He's a spiritual master. He says that he gets messages from heaven. And I asked him, why don't your followers learn? He answered that if they will learn, there will be controversies. He is afraid of this. But I thought in Jewish tradition, for example, in the yeshiva, the Talmudic academy, a person are in discussion all the morning, and they do not agree one with the other, but when it comes the time to pray, they pray together. Life is built of two kinds of activities, one that separates us and one that gathers us. So if I can propose two activities in Ohel Abraham or any place like this, is to pray and learn. When you learn, you can invite a master, a teacher, a rabbi, and any person that can give a content of wisdom or Torah. It is also a place in which you can invite, for example, a delegate of the state of Israel, of rabbinate, and so on. And the third activity is to eat together. Eating gathers persons, and everyone will give according to his way of eating what he needs. Some of Noahides want to eat kosher. They do not need to do it, but there are some. And it may be also connected with activities for children, for youth. You can meet and marry, and also to meet in mourning, in celebrations like marriage, and also when a person divorces, it is also an activity of life. So having a center is very important, to my opinion, And also, if there is a congressional activity, so you should have also משהו בפרסום,
Publishing.
publishing no, a newsletter for your community, and to spread by this way the Noachim. Because having a community is not only for the wealth of the person who composed this community, it is also necessary for the non-Noahide person who will be interested. What is this community? What happened there? Are you Zionists? Are you anarchists? Or everything like this? Are you on the side of Ukraine or of Russia, for example? This question may be posed. So I encourage creating communities. It is the first thing that I like to. So, but we have a problem. It is the distance, geographic distance between persons. You live in one town, and your Noahide friend is 1,000 kilometers from you. What do you do? There is also the idea of creating virtual communities by internet, by SMS, and any technical way of meeting. But it is also important once or twice or 3 times in a year to meet in life. So you can organize weekends, and in these weekends you will have a subject that will be treated. For example, abortion, or for example, economy. Is there an economy according to Torah, for example, and so on? It is important to give to everyone a role. I knew one rabbi that went from Algeria to France after the independence of Algeria. And he got a dying community, a dying Jewish community, and with almost no one. He took the first Jew who he met, and he told him, your role is to clean the synagogue. It is your role. You will clean the synagogue. And the second one is the role of repairing the prayer books who were torn, and so on. Everyone in a community has a role. It may be the rabbi, it may be the chazan, it may be the one who prepare the Sefer Torah to know when will we, what will we read on this Shabbat. It may be also the responsible of the youth and the activities of cooking, anything. It is important to give everyone a role. It gathers persons, and it becomes a living reality. There are also questions in any Jewish community, but also in any Noahide community. You have questions who are presented to the rabbi and to the leader. You know that we are forming making Noahide leaders, and they may become the rabbis of Noahides. And questions are often presented, for example, at which age the Noahide becomes bar mitzvah. What do I mean? There is an age in which you are responsible of your behavior. And for Jews, for example, it is at 13 for men, at 12 for women. But what does it mean for Noahide? Is it 30 or any other age? The answer given by many rabbis is that it depends on the state of maturity in this society. For example, when I was asked by Philippines at which age they become bar mitzvah, I told them 14. But when this question was presented by Canadians, I told them 17. Because in Western world, until you get the age of 17 or maybe 18, you are still a child. But in the Philippines, you are responsible of your family. So it is different from for every society, and it will be appropriated for every society to have his personal local laws, and it will be different from society to another. So you will have the possibility of creating special types of Noahide. As in the Jewish people, you have Ashkenazi Jews, Sephardi Jews, Yemenite, and so on. You have Hasidic and Misnagid types. So you will have this also according to different forms of civilization, of societies. Question, I was asked many questions. It will be interesting from Noahides in Texas. There is a factory of meat in Texas, and it is absolutely terrible because you enter a cow in the machine when he is living, but it is killed during the way of the machines, and it gets out as many parts of meat that you can buy in a supermarket. And the problem was, is it living flesh, ever been alive or not? Or, for example, I was asked by Noahide in the island of Sakhalin. You know where is it? Sakhalin.
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 To Japan.
Yeah, it belongs to Russia, but it was a part of Japan. And the Noahide, it is not far from Kamchatka. Yes, it is in the end of the world. Yes, and what?
End of the world means, right?
Yes, exactly. And the question was that he wanted to his house, but he found ash of Buddhist monks in the basement of his house. So he asked me if it is permitted to use the stones of this temple. It was a Buddhist temple for building his house. And but you have a more realistic question that as how to keep Shabbat, Kashrut, Tefillin, Mezuzah, Kippah, and many. I have heard that in Dashkovitz there was a stage in which they didn't want to drink the milk of non-Jews. Yes, so they could not drink their own milk. So it is important to have a question. It is also interesting to be in contact with other communities. There are communities all over the world. And if when you are, for example, in Ukraine with your community, it would be interesting to be in contact with the community of Congo or the community of Dallas, in Texas, or in Hawaii. There is also in Hawaii, and many places in the world, in India, yes, in the little place which is called Andhra Pradesh, with the language of Telugu. Only 30 million persons speak this language. Only 30 million. No, there are only 1,000 Noahites there. But it is important to have the feeling that you belong to a great movement. It is not only for you, but for you, all your families. The family, a child doesn't want to be a strange person. Maybe in his surrounding, he feels as
someone
a martial
outsider.
outside space.
Outcast, there is a word.
Yes, but if he knows that there are many persons like him and many children like him in all the world, it changes his personal feeling. So it is important also to have congresses as this European congresses. Next week we will have a congress in South America. Many persons will come, and many leaders of Noahites, who are connected with us, will be there. And we send to there a rabbi, Rav David Shalem, who speaks Spanish, and has many contacts in South America. And when it will be done, we will be able to make a World Congress. In this World Congress, we want to invite not only Noahites, but also chief rabbis of Israel, maybe prime minister, president, and so on. And so the goal is to be on the map, because we are not so well known in the world. It is important, we are the first one, but we are not, we did not reach the critical mass that is necessary to make a change in the whole world. So it is important to gather every Noahite in the world. The first community of Noahites in a modern era, maybe you don't know about it, not so well known, was in the village of San Nicandro in Italy. In Italy, yes. It is a very interesting story. There was a peasant, Icar.
Someone that is working on the fields.
Like a farmer.
A farmer, yeah, there was a farmer. No, not a farmer. He didn't have a farm. He had only his
Own place.
yes. He was called Manduccio. Manduccio in San Nicandro in South Italy. He didn't know to read. The only person in his village who knew how to read was the vicar. Only him. But during the First World War, he was sent in the front in Austria, and he learned to read. When he came back, when he came back to his village, he bought a Bible and become to read. And he discovered that Christianity is not the truth, and he understood that the authentic message of God was in Judaism. But he didn't know that there are Jews in the world. So he decided to be the first Jew. And he also he converted persons, and he interpreted it, the interpretation of the Bible was his own interpretation. He made the sacrifice of Passover. Yes, and he built a community, and they called themselves Jews. The Jewish community of Italy, the only one in the world. Yeah. But after some time, he was informed that there are Jews in Italy. And he sent a letter to the Rabbi of Rome. And the Rabbi of Rome didn't know how to consider this phenomenon, but he sent to them prayer books and talit, and talitot. But they continued their way of life. And during the Second World War, they were considered by the Nazis as Jews, persecuted.
Wow.
Yes. During the liberation of Italy, they met tracks of the Jewish brigade who came from Libya through Italy, and they saw the Magen David, the Star of David. So they stopped the track, and they met a Jew from Palestine, from this time, and he helped them to make their aliyah. Some of them went to Galilee and become Jews. But until this day, in San Riccardo, there is a church that was converted to a synagogue, and they continue to live as Noahites in their own way. Yes, so we have a historical fact of building a Jewish Noahide community. Before this, there were only individuals. I would like to give you some names. One of them was a noble French, un noble Français, that was met by one of the rabbis of Eretz Israel at this time, Chaim Yosef David Azulai, who met him in Versailles. In Versailles, that was the capital of the kings of France. And he asked him what to do to be a good Gentile. Not a Gentile, no.
Not a veteran.
Yes. And he gave him some instructions and so on. And by him, he met also the King of France, French King Louis XVI, who was after this decapitated. Another person is Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton, the physicist, who discovered the gravitation. And now we know by his manuscripts that he was an Noahide.
Really?
Yes, and he learned Kabbalah, and he wrote some sentences in Hebrew. Yes, but the more known person is Aimé Fallière. Maybe you have heard of him. Aimé Fallière was a French Catholic, very religious, but in search of truth. And he was in the town of Lyon in France, and I don't know how Providence does it, but he entered the synagogue on the day of Kippur, at the time of the last prayer. And he was very impressed. He wanted to convert and was in contact with the rabbi of Livorno in Italy, Rav Eliyahu Ben Amosei, who wrote for him a guide for Noachism. He told him not to convert, and he wrote for him the book Israel and Humanity, Israel and Humanity. And he tried to be a Noahide. He did not success. He was on the border between Christianity and Judaism. He was buried in a Christian way, but the rabbi did the Kaddish on his tomb, and it was very problematic. But we have an example of trying to founding Noachism in our days. After this, you have the tentative of Lubavitcher Rebbe. Lubavitcher Rebbe, rabbi of Chabad, also promote the Noachism in the world. And the difference between what Chabad do and what we are doing is in the two important points. First of all, Chabad considers that 7 laws are the maximum. And we consider, according to our sources, that 7 laws are the minimum. To enter in a dialogue with Judaism, you have first of all to make 7 laws. After this, we can speak. And the second point is very important, that we are Zionists. We mean by this that we consider that the event of the return of Israel to his land is significant in history. It is the way of redempting the old world and the transforming all the civilizations. We think that our world needs the say of the prophets, and we are here to make a better world. So it is so important what you are doing. You are helping us to make this world better. One final idea: we have proposed a festival for Noahides on the 27th day of the month of Mar Cheshvan. Mar Cheshvan, it is about October, November, and it is the day in which Noah went out of the ark and received the 7 laws. So we consider it as a festival for all humanity, and we propose it as a festival that you should develop in your different communities. Every community where? What? Where? No. In the whole world. All world. We do also something in Israel itself. But in the whole world, you have Noahides who, in this day, are in relationship with us and make their own festivals. Everyone in his way. So it is also, you have some instruction for it in the Brit Olam prayer book. And also it is important to learn the laws of Noahides. For this, you have the second work, the work that I wrote, Brit Shalom. It was, we told you yesterday, it has been translated in 16 languages, and you are invited to translate it in other languages, also in Eskimo language. It is, and the Arabic version has begun, but It was stopped because we did not find the person appropriated to translate in Arabic. You have a Chinese version also, Taiwanese version, and so on. In Japanese, we do not have, but maybe it will be done. Maybe Tomiji may be able to do it. We have a friend of us, Tomiji Mizutani, who is a very learned Japanese, and who lives in France. It is important also that your communities should make a difficult life to rabbis and to representative of the state of Israel. Every time when you make a communal activity, you should invite the Israeli consul or ambassador, for example, and to be permanently in contact with rabbinical authorities, especially the rabbis of the Greek rabbis of Israel, but also with the Rabbinical Council of Europe and the Rabbinical Council of America, and so on. It must be a situation that any rabbi will want to be free from you, because you will be so massively involved that you will not want to hear of you anymore. Yes. Okay. So we want to help you to found these communities. For example, in the place in which you have your center, it may be good to have a flag of Israel, a picture of Jerusalem, prayer books, library, and also a cafeteria. The cafeteria is very important to gather persons together. If you have a bar and a cafeteria, so young people will come and they will marry and they will continue the tradition. So it is very important, I think, and it must be also attractive, an attractive place, well decorated, as this place, for example. So we are here to help you. If you want a permanent contact, we are at your service. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll have a 5 minutes break so you can take some coffee or drink something, and then we'll gather together and we'll continue with more things. So 5 minutes break. So now I think 7 minutes. 5.